There are great stories of finding a shipwreck. So this one here, the Henry V. Smith, this sank in the Great Storm of 1913. And if you know anything about Lake Huron, they actually had more ships go missing in that Great Storm. But we had 2 ships for a long time that were never found on from that shipwreck. This one left Marquette Harbor when there was a break in the storm, and there was a lot of circumstances going on. The captain probably shouldn't have left. You could see him going out into the lake, got enveloped with a storm, and they never saw him again. And they actually found him 100 years later in 2013. It took them that long to figure out where the Henry B. Smith was. So that's it's just, there's all kinds of stories like that. And, just all of the technology they can use now to figure out, where it is. That's one of the pictures that they saw there's 3 men that found this ship. That's one of the pictures they saw from their boat as they were looking down, where they knew, okay, we just found a shipwreck.
And are there still shipwrecks?
Yes.
There are.
There's still shipwrecks.
When's the latest? What was the latest?
We had one in Marquette, just a few, let's see, and shipwrecks are different. They're not actually ships that maybe sank, but they're ships that wrecked. So we had a ship that ran into the breakwater wall during a storm, and it was all over the news, and people were filming it, and somebody had to come and actually take the ship off the wall. That was probably maybe 3 years ago.
Really?
Might have been a little bit further than that, yeah.
But devastation is not what it is. Not what it was.
No, not necessarily. No, because of technology, a lot of times, you can get the Coast Guard out there, hopefully. And there have been shipping accidents where, people have died on a sailboat or different things like that. But the big ships, the shipping seasons have changed too. Safety has become a big concern for, a lot of times they were out here when they shouldn't have been. Now, they closed down the shipping season for a little bit in Lake Superior. So yeah, we also have some information on the Edmund Fitzgerald. Everybody's always interested in the Edmund Fitzgerald. We do have a life ring from the Edmund Fitzgerald. And as you can see, that one was recovered on August 4th, 1976 on a cliff that was 40 feet above the level of Lake Superior over by Munising. And the shipwreck happened way out here by Whitefish Point, and Munising is about right here.
It's where it ended up.
Yeah, ended up that way. So, so November 10th, 1975 was when the Edmund Fitzgerald went down.
Which isn't that long ago.
I know, yeah. So there is quite the story on this. So there was an explosion at the Standard Rock Lighthouse in the early 60s where an actual lighthouse keeper was killed. And after that, they automated the light, and they took the light out of the station, and it was lost for years. It ended up in a Coast Guard basement in a box that was marked incorrectly. And somebody finally opened the box, and they figured out what it was. And so the Marquette Maritime Museum immediately contacted the Coast Guard and said, we have a museum, we have the Lake Superior Museum that would be Standard Rock, and can we display this lighthouse? So the Coast Guard still owns this light, but it's on permanent display here. So it's great. That video that we passed by in that little theater over there tells the whole story of that. It's just really interesting how it was just the lost light, and then how could you lose something this size? I don't know, but just a beautiful light.
Mislabeled.
Yes.
What did it say?
Gosh, I can't remember off the top of my head. Yeah, but I think it had another lighthouse on it or something. So.
Grandma's Bureau.
Right, right.
Come on.
Yeah. And then this over here is another interesting exhibit. This shows about how the United States Life-Saving Service worked with Lyle guns and breeches buoys and all kinds of different things. So when there was a shipwreck that was close enough to shore, what you would do is you would set up this entire apparatus. In the old days, they would have to carry it in a cart, like all of this stuff they would put into a cart, take it out to the lake shore, set up this thing. They would use the Lyle gun, so this is a Lyle gun, and they would use this projectile, which was tied to this tally board with this string, and they would shoot it over the ship. Sometimes they'd have to do it a couple times because sometimes they would miss. The crew on the ship would take it and tie it up, and then they could start saving people. And then they would send out stronger rope on that on the smaller rope. Then they could start saving people on the breeches buoy, which looks like a big diaper. And there's a picture of somebody coming through. So with the wreck of the Maryland, which was in the 50s, this was the last time that they used the old-fashioned breeches buoy set up, and then they also had a helicopter. So you can see on the mural on the top right over there.
Yeah.
So they had a helicopter, and this was the stuff they used in the 1800s. So this was the last time they had the new technology and the old technology. They saved people with the breeches buoy. They also had to pluck a few with the helicopter. So